This is UHJeff Nucera, and I'm here with Dave and Ethan, and together we are Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, episode 249-inch.
On this episode, we are joined by Pickles Kintaro of the Weird Al Burlesque Troupe Tight and Nerdy. Woo. Plus, we are joined by our very own UHJeff Nucera.
It's Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
It's a podcast about Weird Al.
It's Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
Seriously, the whole podcast is about Weird Al.
Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
You don't have to listen, but we're glad you are.
Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 249-inch of Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
And welcome to UHJeff. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, hey, guys.
Jeff, welcome. Welcome back to the podcast. We are always so very excited when you join us.
Aww.
So what have you been up to?
Well, I'm working on this documentary.
No, Jeff, stop. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Ethan.
Oh.
So, Ethan, what have you been up to?
Well, I've just been so busy the last couple of weeks, and I had something I actually wanted to tell you about not too long ago, just a couple of weeks ago. I got to go to an art show near my house that featured a work of art by none other than Nina Yankovic.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So, as you probably know, and as our listeners may be aware, Weird Al has a daughter, Nina, who's a really brilliant artist. And on her public Instagram account, it's at Bowerbird, but there's 3 B's at the beginning and 3 D's at the end. She posted about her upcoming appearance at the Spencertown Academy Gallery. And when she posted that, I was like, it's in Spencertown, New York. How far is that from me? And as luck would have it, not that far. So I already had plans to head out east that day towards Massachusetts, and it was literally on my way. So I got to stop in. I got to see lots of really great art from local artists around my area, including Nina, and it was just spectacular. She made these very cool sterling silver shoelace charms, and they were just pretty stinking majestic.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Did you get a chance to meet up with Nina at all while you were there?
Actually, I did see Nina briefly. She was there when my girlfriend and I showed up, and we said a quick hello to her, and it was really cool. She was very excited because this was her first ever gallery appearance, which I find hard to believe because I've seen her post some really incredible artwork online, but I guess this was the first official gallery release.
That is so cool.
Wow. Congratulations to Nina on getting her first ever gallery release. Amazing.
If anyone happens to live around Spencertown, New York, the Spencertown Academy Gallery has the show, including Nina's artwork, up for the next couple weeks. So it would be great to check out if you happen to be in the area. Now, I mentioned I stopped there on my way to something else, and that something else was I got to finally see friend of the podcast and Weird Al original superfan Amanda Cohen do stand-up comedy.
Oh, so lucky.
Oh, so jealous.
I've always wanted to see her perform. I've known her for many years, as I know you guys have, but I'd never had the opportunity to see her do stand-up. So when that opportunity came up, I had to go. It was a bit of a drive, but luckily I had a pit stop at the art museum. But I went to the show, and of course, Amanda was pretty stinking majestic. It was so great to see her. And so the crazy thing is, her show is at the Bright Ideas Tap Room, which is a brewery, and they had a beer on tap called Bermuda Schwartz.
What?
Wait, seriously?
I couldn't believe it. I saw it, and it was on the menu, and I asked them, do you have cans of this? Because I was like, I have to get Dave and Jeff and Kenneth, cans, and Bermuda, of course, cans of Bermuda Schwartz. But unfortunately, they didn't have any cans available, so I was like, well, I'll take a draft. I have to try this thing.
Did the draft come with a big drum head?
It did not, unfortunately, but I did taste it, and I recorded my reaction on a video for posterity, and it was actually really good. It was a very malty beer without being too dark, and I enjoyed it very much, and I hope to have some more Bermuda Schwartz in the future, and hopefully one day I can get some cans of it, because I want to see what Bermuda Schwartz thinks it tastes like.
He should know.
Now, did they have this Bermuda Schwartz beer specifically made because they knew Amanda was such a Weird Al fan, or was it just an amazing coincidence?
Honestly, it was just an amazing coincidence. This is a beer that the company has been brewing for years. So it's just, I don't even know if they know about Bermuda Schwartz. I mean, they have to, right?
I would think so. I don't know. That's amazing. That's an incredible coincidence.
That is awesome. Hey, would you guys like to know what I've been up to?
Yes, actually we do. But first, I think we should talk a little bit about your connection to Weird Al.
Yeah, so Jeff, I know we already went over a lot of it on episode 3-inch, but for some reason, the listenership for that episode is just extremely low.
Yeah, intern Frank tells us that it's perhaps the lowest listenership of all of our episodes.
Justice for 3-inch.
So, Jeff, of course, we know all about you, but let's give our listeners a little bit of a reminder. You first started working for Weird Al what year?
In the year 2000.
Wow.
AD.
2000 AD, and your first gig, which you've continued for now 25 years coming up on, is you open Weird Al's mail.
I do. I open up his fan mail, not his home personal mail.
Oh, you don't pay his bills and stuff? I thought
I do not.
Okay.
No. Just the fan mail.
And you've been involved with a lot of stuff over the years, including writing, I think, 8.5 million Jeopardy questions. Is that correct?
Yes. Adjusted for inflation? Yes, that is correct.
So you wrote all of the Weird Al Jeopardy questions that were featured in Weird Al Jeopardy on the Vanity Tours.
Yes.
And the pre-show
And in case you're
experience.
wondering, those questions and the set are all in my garage currently.
Incredible.
Amazing.
I think last time you were on an episode was us airing your interview from right after you recorded on Weird the Al Yankovic Story.
Oh, yes. Yes. We recorded that right after I shot some stuff, also 2,000 years ago.
That's right. And for people who don't know, Jeff can be seen in Weird the Al Yankovic Story like 1,000,000 times in the audience.
Yes.
Adjusted for inflation.
Yes.
But also, most prominently, during the scene where Madonna bails out Weird Al Yankovic from jail. It's a TV news coverage. And,
yes, he's surrounded by paparazzi and fans.
Yes.
And since I did not have a camera, I'm a fan. And you can see me grinning like a crazy person.
That is probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie because it's this very, serious scene. Weird Al just got arrested. Madonna's bailing him out of jail. The news is covering it. The paparazzi's serious. There's all these reporters trying to get a quote from Weird Al or Madonna. And just out of nowhere, Jeff's smiling face just drifts right into
lurks
frame
into the screen.
and it cracks me up. It makes me smile every single time I see you.
I may not be an actor, you guys.
Oh, that's so great.
Well, now that we've caught everyone up, let's talk about what I've been up to.
Sure, yeah. But first, we need to take care of some business and check out what's happening in Weird Al related news.
Weird Al will be taking part in Comic Relief Live 2024 at the Lincoln Center in New York City on Monday, December 9th.
The event will honor Billy Crystal, Whoopi Goldberg, and the late Robin Williams for their work with Comic Relief.
The event will also feature special performances by Amy Schumer, Tim Meadows, Phoebe Robinson, Alex Edelman, Matt Friend, and most importantly, Weird Al Yankovic.
In addition, the house band will be the Middle-Aged Dad Jam Band featuring David Wayne and Ken Marino.
All proceeds from the evening will support Comic Relief US, a nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing the root causes and consequences of childhood poverty.
For tickets and more information, head over to comicrelief.org/live.
Weird Al has a long tradition of supporting Comic Relief over the years, so we are very excited to see what he does at this show.
In 1986, Weird Al famously performed Cut the Grief with Comic Relief with Richard Belzer for the show, which can be found and enjoyed, online.
Both Dave and I plan to be in attendance for this show, so if you'll be there too, please let us know.
And stay tuned for our exciting review of the evening on a future episode.
And speaking of the middle-aged dad jam band, be sure to check out the new video they posted on social media of what they call a blooper from the recording of Billy Joel's scenes from an Italian restaurant featuring Weird Al.
But be careful, because like Cut the Grief with Comic Relief, you can't unsee it once you've watched it.
Music Connection magazine recently posted an in-depth interview with Weird Al for their December issue.
In the interview, Weird Al talks about Polkamania and the new Bigger and Weirder tour in 2025.
In the article, Weird Al mentions that along with his longtime band members, John Bermuda Schwartz, Steve J, Jim Kimo West, and Ruben Valtierra, they will be adding 4 new people to the tour. Monique Donnelly, Sheila Gonzalez, Probin Gregory, and Peyton Rose Veligan.
We had previously mentioned on the podcast that Monique and Peyton would be joining the tour, but what better opportunity to give an overview of each of the 4 new band members joining Weird Al and his original band in 2025.
Listeners should already be familiar with Monique Donnelly, as she has worked with Weird Al a number of times, including working with Al in the studio and backing him on the 2019 Strings Attached tour.
Monique is a great person, a friend of the podcast, and a wonderful addition to this lineup.
Now, we've had Monique on the podcast, and if you wish to check out her episode, you can do so by listening to episode 91-inch of Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast. Available at 2000inch.com or weirdalpodcast.com.
Sheila Gonzalez is a Grammy Award-winning musician who has toured with Dweezil Zappa and Men at Work, among others.
Her main instrument is the saxophone, but she also plays keyboard and the flute.
With Sheila's connection to Dweezil Zappa and Genius in France being a Frank Zappa pastiche, we are wondering if we will get Genius in France on this upcoming tour. What do you guys think?
We can only hope.
That would be pretty stinking majestic, Dave. Probin Gregory has worked with Brian Wilson and the Beach Boys for many years. He plays guitar, bass, banjo, keyboards, trumpet, French horn, flugelhorn, various lower brass instruments, and the tannerin? Wow.
The tannerin?
I'm not even sure what that is, but I'm very impressed that Probin knows how to play that. Even pronounce it, for that matter.
With Probin's Beach Boys Brian Wilson connection, do we think we're going to get a little trigger happy? Maybe some pancreas?
That would be pretty stinking majestic. I'd love to hear either of those on tour.
Especially with that tannerin.
Yeah, I'd really love to hear Trigger Happy. That is one of my all-time favorite songs that I want to hear in concert at some point. I understand why he hasn't played Trigger Happy in the past, but I would love to hear it. And Pancreas, oh my gosh, that would sound absolutely amazing live. I hope we get both of them too.
Peyton Rose Veligan is the youngest member to join the band at only 23 years old.
Yes, and so she came highly recommended by Weird Al's tour manager, Melissa, because she, of course, is also the tour manager for Foreigner, and Peyton's own band opened for Foreigner earlier this year.
Whoa.
Now, Peyton specializes in vocals, piano, keyboards, guitar, bass guitar, and occasionally a bit of tambourine.
But no tannerin, to our knowledge.
Now, in what was otherwise a well-written and really great article, one quote in particular did jump out to us. For only a few tour cycles throughout his career, Al and his band have played genuine songs, original bluegrass, and polka tunes, covers of his favorites, Sand parodies, Sans costumes.
Genuine songs. Wow.
Now, there's a good possibility that the author was mistaken about what took place at the Vanity Tour shows, or somehow we collectively, as a group, missed the entire tour where Weird Al's secret, genuine bluegrass and polka tunes were played.
I'll have to check that database.
Yeah, do you have any Jeopardy questions about those, Jeff?
I don't. I'm severely lacking.
Well, you can check out the article over on musicconnection.com or by visiting the link posted in our official Facebook group, group.2000inch.com.
And attention collectors, print copies of the magazine are available featuring Weird Al on the cover riding a tricycle. Mine are due to arrive today.
Nice.
Also, attention collectors, a brand new official t-shirt is now available over on shop.weirdal.com.
That's right, the Weird Al Polka t-shirt is now available, obviously inspired by the WAP graphic from the Polkamania music video. Mine is due to arrive today.
Wow. Now, the shirt retails for $35, but since there's a holiday sale going on right now, you can pick it up for a limited time for only $25.
There are a lot of other great items there, and everything in the store is discounted by 30% or more, plus all orders over $75 get free shipping. So now it's the time to stock up on official Weird Al merchandise, including a few old favorites that have been added back to the store.
For more details and holiday shipping information, head on over to shop.weirdal.com.
Now, before we move on, how do you guys feel about them adding the VIP exclusive Weird Al shaped mug to the merchandise store?
I love that we can spread a cursed object around to as many people as possible. There, I said it.
Yeah, I'm kind of mixed on it because on one hand, it was advertised exclusively for those who purchased and participated in the Weird Al VIP experience. But, I mean, how many people really purchase VIP tickets exclusively to get that mug?
Hey, speak for yourself, Dave.
I like to drink the blood of my enemies out of it.
It is a very unique item. It is called a mug, but it's more a pencil cup. Have you guys tried drinking anything out of it? I feel like it would be so awkward.
I do. I have a quick story about this mug. I brought the prototype over to Al's house.
Really?
Yes. I was given a package and told not to open it, and I brought it over to Al's house and handed it to him, and he opened it in front of me. And the version that we received as fans is far less terrifying than the thing I saw that day.
Really?
Oh, incredible.
What did it look like?
This is still a family-friendly podcast? I don't think I can say.
Wow.
Wow.
It was fascinating, though. I really just...
I want one.
Me too.
Wow. Now, recently, on November 9th, Weird Al took part in Thunder Gong, a benefit concert for Steps of Faith Foundation, which supports amputees in need.
Weird Al was joined by Jason Sudeikis, Will Forte, Flavor Flav, and others at the event. And attendees were treated to some classic and unexpected Weird Al performances.
Taking the internet by storm was Weird Al's cover of Chappell Roan's Hot to Go, along with Will Forte.
Hot to Go. How do you spell that?
THAT.
Ah, thanks.
Although receiving considerably less press and attention, Weird Al also performed two of his memorable favorites, Tacky and One More Minute. And yes, he even handed lucky audience members a pair of underwear and a fork as per tradition.
And in Thunder Gong tradition, the whole lineup, including Al, sang, with a little help from my friends, supposedly the Joe Cocker version, to end the evening.
In addition to performing and adding to the event, Weird Al also donated VIP concert tickets to his Kansas City show to the Thunder Gong raffle, and he even signed a few other items for raffle and auction, including a drumhead, posters, and an acrylic display box.
Screen-printed posters featuring Weird Al's name and the names of the other performers were sold at the event.
But attention collectors, there are currently leftover posters available for sale on their website if you'd like to add a unique piece to your Weird Al collection while also supporting a great cause.
To donate and pick up merchandise like those posters while supplies last, be sure to head on over to thundergong.org.
And speaking of charity, Al has generously once again supported Homes for Our Troops by donating a pair of VIP tickets to any show on the next tour.
The tickets were auctioned off on eBay and ended up raising $1,700, which is easily twice the actual face value.
Nice.
Last week, Adult Swim aired a special consisting of the brand new 22-minute animated pilot of a show called Mystery Cuddlers from Pendleton Ward, creator of Adventure Time.
Airing in the prime spot of 4 a.m., the special featured Weird Al voicing the character Rich Jerk, along with voices from Brian Posehn, Maria Bamford, Michael Winslow, and others.
In a clip Weird Al shared on his social media, we see Rich Jerk buy a museum and destroy most of the artwork through a combination of brute force and a whole lot of mustard.
There's been no word yet on if there's any plans to expand on the single pilot that was shown, but as long as they keep the Rich Jerk character around, we'd love to see lots and lots more.
And just a reminder to everybody, next week is the premiere of Jimmy Fallon's Holiday Seasoning Special. It airs on Wednesday, December 4th at 10 p.m. Burrito time and Hollywood Star time, or 9 p.m. Twine Ball time on NBC.
As we mentioned, Weird Al is set to perform the brand new song, New Year's Eve Polka, 54321, along with Jimmy and the Roots.
I can't wait.
This episode is brought to you in part by vegan burrito restaurant Burrito, home of the 2-pound double wrapped in a quesadilla Burrito, and Wizard Burger in Albany, New York. Come on down to Burrito and Burrito, your Burrito, and Wizard Burger for mouth-watering, loaded, dare I say beefy, vegan burgers. From Albany to Uranus, Burrito and Wizard Burger feed the hungry with out-of-this-world, plant-based, real food, always vegan style. Visit burritosquare.com and wizardburger.com to order ahead.
Weird Al's appearance at GalaxyCon in Columbus, Ohio is coming up on December 6th through 8th.
In addition to selling autographs and photo ops and a Q&A on the 8th, Weird Al will be taking part in a unique private meet and greet experience.
Tickets are $500 each, and the description says it includes a 30-minute roundtable meet and greet session with Weird Al Yankovic, group selfie, and a special event badge.
Would you guys go to something like that?
I mean, I went to GalaxyCon in San Jose, and Al was there.
Did you do the $500 roundtable discussion?
I did not.
Was that even an option? I don't know.
It was an option. I
was.
don't know who was in there, but they had it. It seemed fun.
I am so curious about it.
Do we know anyone that's going?
We do. Friend and past guest and supporter of the podcast, Allison Parsons, said that she bought one of the bajillion-dollar tickets. Her words.
Thanks, Allison. Please report back.
Yes, please let us know all about the event, Allison. We'd love to hear about it.
$500 seems like a lot of money for that, but I feel like if I was closer and I was going to the Comic-Con, I would be probably buying a ticket myself.
Yeah, it says it includes a 30-minute roundtable meet and greet session with Weird Al Yankovic. So if you get like 30 minutes to talk to Weird Al Yankovic, that's for $500. That seems like a really good deal. Now, I don't know how many people are at this roundtable. It could be a really big table for all I know. But still, an intimate setting, get to talk to Weird Al one-on-one. It's probably worth it if you're going to be in the area and you're going to be going to the con anyway.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Al and a fan of tables that are round, why not?
Yeah, I'm really curious how many people are there. I'm excited for Allison to let us know all about it.
Weird Al will also be participating in a similar private meet and greet when he attends GalaxyCon in Richmond, Virginia in March.
Oh, interesting.
How about that?
Now, we have some sad news to share. Jim Abrahams, the director and writer behind numerous hit slapstick comedies, has passed away at the age of 80.
Jim is the co-writer and director behind the 3 Naked Gun films, and of course, Weird Al has on-screen cameos in each one of them.
And additionally, Weird Al was tapped to create the theme song for Jim's film Hot Shots, but ultimately it was not used in the final version of the film.
Now, Weird Al recently also lent his voice to the audiobook version of Surely You Can't Be Serious, the true story of Airplane, which was co-written by Jim Abrahams and was all about, of course, Airplane.
Weird Al has credited Airplane as being one of his favorite films, and even was once in talks to create a musical based on the film.
And as an additional connection, Jim co-directed the film Ruthless People, in which Weird Al parodied the title track with Toothless People on the Polka Party album.
Jim Abrahams redefined comedy and through his work has inspired generations of comedians and filmmakers. He will be greatly missed.
From all of us here at Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, Gil and chill in peace, Jim Abrahams.
We are also sad to report that the incredibly talented SpongeBob SquarePants and Ren and Stimpy composer Andy Pally has passed away at age 72.
Among his long list of credits and accomplishments, he worked on the song Holiday Mashup from the High Fructose Adventures of Annoying Orange, which featured Weird Al along with Alice Cooper and Bret Michaels.
From all of us here at Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, Gil and chill in peace, Andy Pally.
And we have even more sad news to report.
Dave and Ethan's 2000 Weird Al podcast has lost another beloved member of our podcast family.
Episode 9-inch guest Susan McNabb let us know that her beloved dog Joey has passed away.
Joey was the best and forever has a place in our hearts as the first dog to appear on Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast.
From all of us here at Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, our thoughts go out to Susan, her family, and everyone whose lives who have been touched by Joey.
Gill and chill in peace, Joey. You will be missed.
And now it's time for What's Happening in Everything Celebrities Do is Fascinating Related News.
Weird Al was recently spotted at the Los Angeles premiere of Night Bitch, the comedy horror film starring Amy Adams.
Fascinating!
And why was Weird Al there? Well, we suspect it was because his 1985 hit, Dare to be Stupid, can be heard in one of the film's most memorable scenes.
Fascinating!
The film is scheduled to be released theatrically in the United States on December 6th.
Fascinating!
Daniel Radcliffe, best known for his portrayal of Weird Al Yankovic in Weird Al Yankovic Story, has been nominated for the Best Musical Theater Album Grammy Award, along with the rest of the cast of Merrily We Roll Along.
Fascinating! And well-deserved!
Let's just hope if he wins, he doesn't get gunned down by a Colombian drug lord and or teen pop idol this time.
Well, from all of us here at Dave and Ethan's 2008 Weird Al podcast, congratulations to Daniel Radcliffe on the Grammy nomination.
And now it's time for What's Happening in Z2 Comics supposed Weird Al branded mini accordion related news.
Some Weird Al fans got a big surprise this week when shipping notices started appearing in their inboxes for the long-awaited Weird Al branded mini accordion from Z2 Comics. Mine's due to arrive today.
What? Are you kidding me? I didn't get one.
Well, that's why Jeff said some fans.
You know what? The last email I received from them said, and I quote, "You can expect to receive your accordion on or around November 1st, which was obviously a lie.
They didn't say which year, Dave.
That is true.
Well, I also did get a shipping notification, and my accordion arrived this week, so I have it in hand. They have officially done the thing that they were supposed to do for years, and they have shipped me a Weird Al branded mini accordion.
How is it?
Well, it is exactly what they said it would be, a Weird Al branded mini accordion. And
so it's green and purple like they said it would be?
It does not exactly look like what they said it would look like, although I believe they did say that it may look different, and it is very similar to the one that we saw when we originally pre-ordered the Super Deluxe package. It looks like the same model of accordion, but it does not have the green and purple. Instead, it is red and blue on the bellows of the accordion.
I see.
What's really cool is it comes in a printed box. So I was not expecting that. All 6 sides are printed, and it is a very nice display. The box, that is.
Oh, good. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Dave, did you get your notification yet? How about now?
Well, you know what, Ethan? I'm happy that after 3 years, you finally got something from Z2 Comics. You know, after you and Jeff and our close personal friend Kenneth and a few other people mentioned to me that you all got a shipping notice for the Z2 Weird Al branded mini accordions, I checked and I did not have one. Now, I realize they have a lot of accordions to ship out. So, you know, I waited a reasonable amount of time, and then it became clear that I wasn't getting a shipping notification email anytime soon. So I emailed them nicely asking for an update, and I simply asked them if I was still on the list and when can I expect to get a shipping notice. And as of this recording, I have yet to receive a response.
You'll get one in about 3 business years.
That seems to be their mode of operation. They promise stuff and then they don't deliver on it. It's, you know, it's the same thing we've been complaining about for 3 years. If they just give me an update and say, hey, we know about your accordion. We haven't shipped it out yet. We'll let you know when we do. That would be fine. But I've gotten radio silence from them.
Now, for anyone listening who's like, what the heck are they talking about? What is this accordion? Who is Z2? I'll just give a very brief rundown. There was a book called The Illustrated Al, The Songs of Weird Al Yankovic, and there was a super deluxe edition. I believe it was $300. It was a pre-order like 2.5 years ago, and we had to wait 6 months or so until we were supposed to get it. And then when we were supposed to get it, they emailed and said it was coming in a couple more months. And then after that, it was radio silence for about 2 years. This past summer, Dave and I were talking about it on the podcast and how we were upset. Not that it was delayed, but that there has been a lack of communication from the company. There has been no outreach letting anyone know what's going on with the accordions. And that caught the attention of the CEO, Josh Bernstein of Z2 Comics. And he ended up speaking with me on the phone. And I let him know that it's not acceptable the way that the company has left their fans in the dark. People had no idea what was happening with these accordions. And on that phone call, I got him to promise that he would send out an email updating the customers who were supposed to receive the accordion. And he let me know that they hadn't done anything on the accordions. And so after that phone call, he said that they would start looking into it and getting the accordions made. So I'm happy to see that they finally did start delivering these accordions. I know some people are not super thrilled with the quality of the accordion. I'm not concerned about that. I'm just happy that they're finally going out. And Dave, I really hope that you and the others who are expecting them do actually receive them. So please keep us updated and let us know what unfolds.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely let you know if and when I hear back from them, or if I receive my accordion. Now, it's a shame that it took our Weird Al fan podcast calling them out after 2 years for them to finally send an update to their buyers and get the accordions in production.
I, for one, appreciate you guys using your platform for good.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
The saga's not over yet, but they have made some progress.
Well, putting that aside for now, it's time for what's happening in Grammy Award-winning Jim Kimo West related news.
There's a new track coming soon from Jim Kimo West and his frequent collaborator, David Vito Gregoli.
Described as holiday fingerstyle acoustic guitar, the song is Hark the Herald Angels Sing and is available to pre-save on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon Music.
And now it's time for what's happening in John Bermuda Schwartz, What a Guy related news.
Act quick! 1984 Publishing is running a Black Friday sale for many of their products, including one of Bermuda's books.
Lights Camera Accordion is available for a limited time for only $15. Mine's due to arrive today.
Whoa, I might have to pick up another few dozen at that price.
Ethan, I think you have enough copies to build an entire extension on your house with them.
Well, maybe that's what I'm doing, Dave.
Well, head on over to 1984publishing.com to order Lights Camera Accordion today.
And now it's time for what's happening in Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast related news.
On the last episode, we spoke to Jared Marker, who recently put together a video chronicling our very own Ethan Ullman's recent trip to the Darwin, Minnesota area, as well as an update on the Weird Al-themed Airbnb that's going into the Twine Ball Inn.
Shortly after the episode dropped, Jared shared the video on his YouTube page, as well as posting the link in the official Facebook group, group.2000inch.com.
The video Jared made is pretty stinking majestic, and we definitely encourage you to check it out if you haven't already.
But Ethan, how do I check it out?
Well, as of this week, Jared has rebranded his online presence from Rim Jam to The Twine Poodle.
Look up The Twine Poodle on YouTube and follow @TwinePoodle on social media if you haven't already.
In addition, Jared also put together a longer and different edit of the video with never-before-seen footage exclusively for our Patreon family.
Intern Frank shared that video over at patreon.com/2000inch, and we encourage you to check it out if you haven't already.
Now, Ethan and I also recently recorded a very special secret episode available only for our Patreon family.
That's right. In the secret episode, Dave and Ethan put their taste buds on the line and try Oreo-flavored Coke Zero for the very first time.
There's also a video coming soon of me tasting that Bermuda Schwartz beer for the first time.
We expect intern Frank to share these both over at patreon.com/2000inch very soon.
Secret episodes are only available to our Patreon family and nowhere else. So if you want to hear our Oreo soda reaction, my Bermuda beer reaction, as well as support the podcast and get other amazing great perks, head on over to patreon.com/2000inch to sign up.
Mine's due to arrive today.
And finally, let's see what's happening in UHJeff related news.
Oh, finally! Well, the big news, I'm going to SF Sketchfest.
Oh, wait, Jeff. I almost forget. We've got one more news item.
San Francisco Sketchfest 2025 has been officially announced, and tickets are on sale already, but notably, Weird Al is absent from the entire schedule.
While Weird Al is not scheduled to be there, there's an exciting schedule filled with our friends, past guests, and Weird the Al Yankovic story co-stars.
That is true, and the subject of UHJeff's brand new documentary are reuniting for a special performance at San Francisco Sketchfest.
Tight and nerdy, Weird Al Burlesque is taking place on Friday, January 31st, starting at 9:30 p.m. Hollywood start time at Club Fugazi.
Tickets are on sale right now, but are selling really fast. So if you want to go, grab your tickets while you still can.
Well, Jeff, tell us all about this show.
Okay, but it's not my show. I'm just, attending.
That's no excuse. Tell us everything.
How about we ask Pickles Kintaro, fearless leader and creator of Tight and Nerdy, the world's first and only Weird Al themed burlesque troupe.
You know what? That's a really good idea.
Please welcome back to the podcast the fearless leader and creator of Tight and Nerdy, the world's first and only all Weird Al themed burlesque troupe, Pickles Kintaro. Hello, Pickles.
Hello. Thank you for having me back. I'm so excited to be here. If I sound a little underwater, it's because I have a cold, but that will not stop me from talking about our beloved Al.
Well, Pickles spend a lot of time underwater anyway, so it completely makes sense and works.
Absolutely.
I think it's on brand, off the deep end, Weird Al Yankovic. So this is perfect. I'm glad you're underwater, although I do hope you feel better.
Oh, thank you.
Well, a lot has happened since last time we've had both of you on together, and Pickles, this is so exciting that you will be performing at Sketchfest. Can you tell us just a little bit about this show and how it came to be?
Oh my gosh, I cannot even begin to tell you how excited I am about this. We've been applying to Sketchfest for years. This is not my first. Yes, this is not my first Sketchfest application rodeo. But I think because we have a doc and they can see kind of proof of concept, and they were like, yes, and we got accepted. And I almost passed out when I got the email because I was basically in shock of what is even happening? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So yes, not only did we get into Sketchfest, but we are performing at Club Fugazi. And for those of you who don't know, there was a very, very long running musical in San Francisco called Beach Blanket Babylon, and that was their home at Club Fugazi. And growing up in Fremont and in California, it was I always wanted to go see it. My parents never took me. It was like a campy musical, and the women wore these outrageous wigs with the Golden Gate bridges on their head. So this is right up my alley. And so to be performing on that stage, it is so hard to wrap my brain around. And it's really, it's both wonderful and daunting because we haven't performed in 5 years. It is the last time we performed was 2019. And, so, I mean, my butter churn, I just need to, dust it. And, I don't know if my costume still fits, so we may be making another one of those. And I think that is one of the main feelings is we're excited and we're terrified. But honestly, I ran through my act the other day and it's like riding a bike. The muscle memory is right there. I hit all of my marks. And we're really excited. We're all a little bit older and our lives have changed so much. So I don't know how many shows we really have left in us to do. I think, if this was to be the last time we ever performed, holy cow, like going out on top that would be the understatement. So, but we'll see. We always say maybe is this the last we will see of Tight and Nerdy, and somehow we always come back. So who knows? I
attended Sketchfest last year, and I had so much fun, and I loved it, and I'd always wanted to go. And I said, but I'm not going to go in 2025. It's just, it's a big trip, and it's an expensive trip, and the hotels. And then as soon as I heard that Tight and Nerdy was performing, I was like, well, I'm going to Sketchfest.
Same. Yes. No, I'm just in awe. I mean, if you look at the lineup, it's like Bill Murray and Catherine Hahn and Richard Kind and like all of these just luminaries.
All of these luminaries and Richard Kind.
Stop with your Richard Kind slander. No, but to be chosen to represent in that lineup is just mind blowing, and I'm so grateful and I'm so excited.
Yeah, well, we're very excited for you as well. And just so people understand what's happening here, you are one of the founders of Tight and Nerdy, the first and only Weird Al themed burlesque troupe. And can you tell us a little bit what that means?
Well, I'm the wrangler of cats. Basically, it was my weird fever dream, and I put the band together, and I'm very particular in the language that I use around Tight and Nerdy and my part in it. I always try to use the we instead of me, because even though I am the one who is funding and organizing and, leading the charge, this doesn't happen without the core four. This doesn't happen without Odessa and Pearlie and Marla. None of this would be here if they were not involved. So it is us. But yes, this was I want to strip to the music of Weird Al, and I want to make all my friends do it too. And yeah.
I'm really curious about how the group formed. Was it, hey, we're all already burlesque performers and we like Weird Al? Or was it like, we like Weird Al, what's a cool thing we could do? Like, I guess, is it a chicken and the egg situation, or what really came first there?
So it came about because Pearlie and Marla and I, let me go back. Pearlie and I both took classes at Bombshell Betty's Burlesque Academy in San Francisco. That's when we met. At our graduation performance, Mistress Marla Spanks was the stage kitten, or as we like to call it, the stripper picker upper. So she picks up all the stuff you toss off. And she was the kitten, and I looked at her at our graduation show, and I thought, oh my God, she is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. She is so cool. She will never want to be my friend. And then we became friends. And so the three of us ended up becoming friends, and Odessa was emceeing our shows, and we were all terrified of her. And when I got together, when I had this idea, one of them was, yes, I wanted to strip to the music of Weird Al, and I thought it would be a good idea to make everyone I knew do it. There were some people, Pearlie was not the typical type of gal to get booked in the San Francisco scene at that time. No offense to thin ladies, but, they really did like the skinny ladies. And Pearlie is curvaceous and just beautiful and a force of nature. And she's not typically, what people think of when, producers are booking out. But God, she just packs a wallop. And once you see her perform, you don't forget it. And I wanted to give her and some of the other gals access and opportunities to be on stages that they might not otherwise be able to perform on. So that was my brilliant idea. It was, we all met. I decided I wanted to strip to the music of Weird Al, and then I dragged my friends into it.
But Pickles, how do you approach somebody and say, hey, will you strip to the music of Weird Al with me? Because I'm sure if I took, Ethan and Jeff aside, and I said, hey, we're big Weird Al fans. We got to do something exciting. Let's just strip the Weird Al music. They would look at me funny.
Oh my gosh, the full Monty Weird Al style. No, honestly, it was, hey, I have this most of my friends say I have a terrible idea. Whenever I say that, people are like, all right, what is going to come out of her mouth? Because it can be everything from let's strip to the music of Weird Al to like, I don't know, let's go like adopt some baby possums and eat trash. Like you don't know.
Or let's make a documentary about Titan Nerdy.
I mean, Jeff, you're getting ahead of us because that was another. Jeff, I have a terrible idea.
Pickles special.
But yeah, so I was just like, hey, honestly, I have a terrible idea. I really want to do this show and I really want to do it with you. You're like, number one, you're one of my best friends in the scene. Number two, I want to see what you do with it. Odessa, I remember I was really scared to ask because she was one of the pioneers of the neo-burlesque scene in the Bay Area. And she had kind of stopped performing and was mostly emceeing. So it was super intimidating to ask her. But number one, she's really talented. Number two, where she works, it might have helped with some marketing opportunities. So I was like, yes. And I asked her and she said yes. And I think she was genuinely surprised because I don't think she got asked a lot because I think a lot of people really were scared of her. So it all worked out for me.
That's amazing. I do want to hear about that quote unquote bad idea that you had about the documentary. How did you approach that? Was it your idea initially, Pickles?
Oh yeah, I'm full of terrible ideas. So, we took our first we did our first tour and it was just all the gals traveling together and we're all so different, and if it wasn't for burlesque, we would not have found each other. And but we fit and we belong and we have created this family. It is, for so many of us, it's about the family that you make. And I knew we had something special. And so we were going to LA to perform. And there was a whole hullabaloo on the Weird Al fan boards about, oh no, did you see these women are stripping to the music of Weird Al? And there were genuine reactions. Some people were super stoked. Some people were like, how could they objectify themselves? This is sacred. There was some pearl clutching, and Jeff was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the show to check it out. Thank God he liked it, because I do not know what would have happened if Jeff didn't like the show. I mean, who knows?
I would have gotten a lot more sleep over the past 7 years.
Yes. And so Jeff came to the show and he introduced himself from the Weird Al message boards. And then we got to talking and I found out what he did. I found out he was a reality TV producer and writer. And we were doing the Minnesota show, the first Weird Al Weekender. And I thought, oh my God, I wanted to do a documentary, and I had approached someone's husband because he was a cameraman and he filmed our first Oakland show. And I was like, should we make a documentary? And he wasn't really the person to do it, but I had it in my heart. And then Jeff fell from the sky, and I called him and I said, hey Jeff, I have a terrible idea.
And, there's a certain amount of intimacy happening behind the scenes. You guys are changing and taking your clothes off. And I think that Jeff is the right person to maybe make that not awkward to be filming and doing stuff. Or do I have this wrong? Was it totally awkward to have Jeff there?
I mean, it's awkward to have Jeff there anyway. So, clothes. No, I'm kidding. I love
Jeff.
Just
by my very nature.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff and I are basically in a polycule at this point. No, they're knowing some of the shows that Jeff has worked on. There was a comfort with him, and he's always been, he and his team have always been super respectful about our boundaries, about how vulnerable we are. And, you know, I got to know Jeff before we started the process, before we really got into it. And there's a lot of trust and faith that we put into him. And he has not crossed that line. You know, we have never felt unsafe or exploited. And that is really, really important. I mean, in terms of nudity, I'm not precious about that at all. It's like, dude, they're boobs. Everybody has them. Like, you know, you haven't paid $10 to see mine yet. So, you know, but, you know, it was great. And I'm very thankful. I mean, I do believe in, you know, I'm going to be all just cheesy, but I do believe in fate, and that, you know, the universe puts the right people in front of us at the right time. And I know that Jeff and I were supposed to meet, and now he's stuck with me.
Oh, I love that.
And I am thrilled, by the way. I am.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Weird Al Burlesque show that's going on at San Francisco Sketchfest. It's happening Friday, January 31st, and like you mentioned, in Club Fugazi, but also past guest of our podcast and the amazing Ali Gertz is hosting.
I know, right? How does that even happen? I mean, I can tell you how it happened.
Yeah, please do.
Ali and I worked together. We had a job together.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it goes a little bit further. When I first moved to LA, Jeff said, "Do you know Ali Gertz?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And he was like, And so he explained who Ali was, and I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't know her. We worked in the same building.
No way.
We worked in the same. We worked in the same building for like a year, and we never met. And then a few years later, I got a job at a video game company, and Ali got a job like a week after I did at the same company. We were on the same team, and we just became friends. And first thing I was like, "Do you know Jeff?" And she was like. So yes, it was, and then we became friends. And normally Blanche Debris, you know, she has been our illustrious MC, and she, you know, it was hard because when we got the Fugazi show, I was like, oh, they would both be so perfect. And then once again, fate stepped in, and Blanche is performing at a cabaret, and that on the weekends, and that made the decision really, really easy.
Oh, wow.
And it was the easiest phone call I've ever had to make. And Ali was like, "Oh my God, of course I will do it. Absolutely." And here we are.
That's incredible. Wow. I think that's just so amazing. When you first met Ali, how long before you started talking about Weird Al and everything? I mean, that's just an incredible match right there.
I think it was because we were still remote at that point, so we had all met up for lunch, and we were just talking, and when in work situations, I'm very honest and upfront that I do burlesque, or I've done burlesque, because number one, I don't treat it like it's a dirty secret. It's nothing that anyone will ever be able to hold over me of like, "Oh my God, do you hear? Do you know what she does?" It's like, no, yeah, I take off my clothes for tens of dollars, and I own it. So cool, you know? And so I basically announced to my whole team that I did this, and you know, Ali was just like, "Oh yeah, we'll be just fine." So
that's incredible. And I love that you bring to Tight and Nerdy a nerdy factor. You said you worked for a video game company. I know you've worked in comic books. How important is that to the DNA of Tight and Nerdy, being actually nerdy?
I mean, you know, it's funny because it actually, if you look on my resume, there's like a little like statement about me, and it says I'm a professional nerd. And people have actually called me out on that in job interviews, and I'm like, "Oh, you want to go there? Because I'll throw down." And you know, I started my career, you know, at DC Comics, and I worked there for about a decade, and I've worked in just about every form of publishing that you can imagine. I've worked on, you know, books and manga and art books and comic books and young readers, magazines, and I love it. And you know, and then I transferred over to video games, and because it was a natural fit. So many of those skills align, and interests. And yeah, I mean, I do think that the nerdy aspect absolutely makes sense. I mean, Al edited an issue of Mad Magazine, and you can tell he's one of us. Hi, Chloe. I can hear Jeff's cat in the background.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think I feel like people who like Weird Al, we're like the island of misfit toys. We're we may not have been the popular table in high school, but we were definitely the cool kids.
Right.
And I feel like, as where those popular kids probably peaked at around 17, I'm still topping off. I don't know that I've peaked yet. I don't know that maybe I'm in my prime now. Who knows? But I'm really, it's been something that I've built my career on, and I've been fortunate enough to do, and I'm super proud of that. So yeah, I think being a nerd and having those feelings and really wanting to create a space and an environment for people to celebrate their weirdness and to not have to hide it and to just be like, yeah, I'm weird. That's it.
Now, I haven't seen the documentary yet, Jeff, but
What have you been waiting for, Ethan?
I have to imagine that, part of, what you were just talking about, is that a theme in the documentary? And I guess this is a question to both of you.
It is.
Sorry. Thank you, Jeff. All right.
No, it is. It's very much a theme. Finding your sort of nerdy crowd. I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when a weirdo finds their weirdos, and we are celebrating that. It is, I think that we all probably believe that weird is not a filthy word. It is something to celebrate, and Al guides us through that, both in life and in this film.
Yeah, and I have not seen a screening of this movie yet either, Jeff. However, I do understand there was a sort of a screening, maybe a private screening going on recently. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
My producing partner Jonathan and I wanted to show Pickles and Marla and Odessa and Pearlie the film before we share it with the world. It is their story, and we wanted to make sure that we were doing them right. So we gathered over the weekend in San Francisco and gave them their first look at the film from start to finish.
Wow.
And I will let
exciting.
Pickles share her reaction to it, because this is the thing I have been most terrified of. like truly just, they trusted us with their story, and they trusted us with sharing so much of themselves, and we didn't want to let them down. And we tried really hard to present their stories as unique as they are. They are all of our stories. Well, there's a little bit of us in each of them, and I think it's a beautiful thing. What do you think, Pickles?
Yeah, wow. Watching the documentary was surreal. It was because I don't know, I don't normally watch myself in a movie. We knew that Jeff was really nervous and anxious about it. And I had made peace with it before we saw the screening of, what, even if there are things that I don't like in it, I'm going to be okay with them, because it's been a few years since we filmed, and it is a great snapshot of the person that I was at that point in my life.
Right.
And then I watched the documentary and I loved it. I had no notes.
Wow.
It was... Yeah, and I'm an editor by trade, so I always have notes. It was really beautiful, and if I wasn't in it, I would absolutely want to be friends with those ladies. I'm so proud of them, and it's so weird because each one of us, when we watch it, we haven't seen. There's so much that's brand new to us. There's so many things that we learn about the person sitting next to us that we didn't know. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud that these women are my friends. I'm so proud that I call them family. And I'm so proud of this weird little gift that we've given to the world. It is times are rough, and for a few bucks, if you can go forget about your problems for a few hours and just see joy, just unadulterated joy and fun, that is a great gift, and I'm really, really proud of it. And Jeff and Jonathan just did a beautiful job. It really is something very, very special. So yeah.
I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see it either. Hint, hint, Jeff. But you mentioned it's been a couple years since Jeff and Jonathan and whoever else filmed the footage of you guys. Now, is there anything that showed up in the documentary that you had forgotten, maybe that Jeff had filmed or didn't think was going to make the documentary, that surprised you in there? Any moments like that?
There were some moments that I'm glad didn't make it in. There was a moment when something happened that was unplanned, and I don't think I took the news very well. And I was like, oh God, I hope they don't edit it to make me to reflect reality. And they did not. They handled it very, very graciously. Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely strange, but I can't think of anything that I forgot about. No, I mean, but honestly, it's all a blur because we filmed so much.
Yeah.
There was so much filming, and there were so many, just times of being mic'd up. And I think, how they edited and how they handled our interviews and the plethora of information we gave them, I think they encapsulated it really, really beautifully because, boy, I can ramble.
Me too. No.
Jeff, how did you feel about their reaction? Is there a big sigh of relief, or are you still a ball of anxiety?
I mean, I'm a ball of anxiety, just not about that.
Okay.
I slept so well after that screening. I had been freaking out for weeks, if not years, thinking about them watching this. Which, honestly, it helped shape how we were telling the story and how we were presenting everyone. That's always in the back of our mind of like, are we doing them right? Are we doing right by them? I'm not, we aren't interested in making a reality TV version of their lives. We're interested in telling the real story and like going deeper than, fake fighting and people throwing drinks at each other. It's more interesting than that.
I heard a rumor that the name of the movie has changed. It's no longer Showgals.
What?
Can you talk about what is the new name? I'm so curious.
Because the ladies have a troupe called Tight and Nerdy, and the film is about being a tight-knit group of nerdy friends. We thought, well, why not just call it Tight and Nerdy?
Wow, that's exciting.
So we are now officially Tight and Nerdy, the movie.
Wow, how cool.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a stretch there, but I think it works.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, what is it? Rhyme with something or
No, totally made up, completely original.
That is awesome. That is so awesome. I think what everyone wants to know is, yes, we're going to finally get to see another performance of Tight and Nerdy, but when will the general public be able to see the film Tight and Nerdy? Is there any plans? Is there any updates you can share with us?
I don't have an official update yet, but we have been submitting to many, many film festivals.
Okay.
And as soon as we hear back from any of them, we will let you know.
Awesome.
We're hoping that one of these festivals will pick us up and we'll be able to premiere somewhere fun, and then we'll be able to share with everybody once that happens.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah, well, we're absolutely excited for you, Pickles, and the entire Tight and Nerdy troupe, as well as you, Jeff, for finally getting to get Pickles and the girls' reaction to the movie. But we're very excited that you are going to be performing at San Francisco Sketchfest. at Club Fugazi on Friday, January 31st. Ethan will be there, and I'm sure he's going to tell us all about it after it happens. Tickets are on sale right now. They are selling pretty fast. So if you want to go, make sure you grab tickets while you still can.
Yeah, there aren't many left, are there?
There really aren't. There's like 80, I think there's 82 seats, not that I'm counting, left. It's one of my, as a producer, I furiously like keep track of it. But it's going to be a great time. There will be prizes if you come dressed as any iteration of Al.
Wow.
And we will be doing a costume contest. So basically, if you come dressed as Weird Al, you will get something for free. Ooh. It'll be amazing. I know, right?
That is so fun.
I have to see if how much the club will work with us, but for like the Minnesota Weekender, I really did try to make a whole just ecosystem of Al. Like we had ridiculousness. We did themed drinks. My favorite themed drink ever was the Amish Paradise, and it was a $6 glass of milk. That's all it was. And you know what? They sold out.
I love it.
Yes. We had a cocktail called I Want a New Duck that came with a little rubber duck.
Oh, my goodness.
And then, Jurassic Park came with a tiny dinosaur. And then my favorite, though, was UHF because it came with a random VHS tape. I had gone and found on Facebook Marketplace somebody selling like 120 VHSs for like $20.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know what I got. And they were actually good movies. And so basically, if you bought a drink, you just got handed a VHS tape. You couldn't trade it in. There were no take backsies. If you wanted to trade it with someone else, good on you. But you know what? You still got a VHS tape. And people were like trading them in the audience. And we did have an Oreo stacking contest called the White Stuff, where, you would stack Oreos on your friend, and whoever got the tallest stack. We have famously crappy prizes, and they have been very odd. It would be like whatever I could get at the thrift shop for under $5. And but I mean, some of them I actually really wanted to keep. That coconut monkey head was legit.
Is that how I ended up with the Alf cake pan?
No, I just gave that to you because. You're lucky I haven't mailed you the Alf phone, Jeff.
Save it for Richard Kind.
Dave, I'm so sad you can't come to the show.
Yes, I'm sad I won't be there.
It's Dave's lossy.
Well, maybe we'll send you a care package or something.
Hooray.
That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us, Pickles, and telling us all about Tight and Nerdy and your upcoming adventure at San Francisco Sketchfest.
For additional information about Tight and Nerdy, both the Burlesque troupe and the movie, you can follow at Tight and Nerdy on Instagram and Facebook, at Tight and Nerdy Movie, and you can head to tightandnerdymovie.com. Thank you so much, Pickles, for joining us once again.
Amazing. Thank you for having me. Thank you again. It's so nice to say hello to you too. Thank you, Jeff, for making a beautiful movie about me and my friends. And come see us at the show.
Thank you for letting us make that movie.
It's always great to have Pickles on the podcast. You two are going to definitely have to tell me all about Tight and Nerdy, the burlesque performance, after it happens.
Oh, we definitely will, Dave. We'll tell you all about it. We'll share the whole inside scoop. And while we're speaking about inside scoops, Jeff, we haven't had you with us on the podcast since something kind of exciting you worked on was released.
Yeah, that's right. You recently worked with Weird Al on the Charlie Puth Show. Tell us all about that.
I did. I was very excited. We had a whole episode of the Charlie Puth Show, now on Roku, where Charlie goes a little crazy And the story of the episode is he tries to get Weird Al to parody him. And as we know, Al does not accept outside ideas.
You would know.
Did Charlie send the parody idea to close personal friends of Weird Al and you had to scrub it? Because that would be amazing.
Yeah, so he tries to get a hold of Weird Al. It doesn't work out. Some things happen, and Al eventually shows up on set after Charlie has a full-on meltdown and dresses as Al. A little bit of an identity crisis.
Jeff, we have talked about on the podcast when it came out how there are some incredible props in Weird Al's office, including the official Gil and Chillo from Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast. Tell us about how that made it on set.
Well, it made it on set because I took it from my home and brought it to set and then placed it onto that chair.
Did anyone question it, or were they just like, Jeff knows what Weird Al would have in his office?
Yeah, pretty much. Our one of our executive producers he's very particular about his sets and how they look. So I brought in just a box of props, including the Al TV light up sign that Kenneth Gwinnett gave me.
Yeah.
The Weird Al accordion box set, a few other odds and ends, and just let him decorate it. And he made sure that pink pillow was front and center. It's right in between Al and Charlie Puth during one of the pivotal moments in the episode.
That is pretty stinking majestic, Jeff.
It's amazing. You can't miss it when you watch the Charlie Puth show. It's right there, front and center, like you said. Thank you so much for doing that, Jeff.
Oh, of course. And I was very excited to have Al on set. Obviously, this is the highlight of my career. Al brought his own wardrobe, including the shirt that he's wearing. Which initially he wore, or he didn't wear it, but it was featured in The Complete Al. And, he shows up with 5 or 6 Hawaiian shirts, and he shows me this one. He's like, this is from The Complete. I'm like, I know what it's from. I know. It's burned into my retinas. There's no mistaking that shirt. So I was thrilled.
Yeah, I recognize it immediately. That is such an awesome Easter egg.
It was a very, very cool day. I was so thrilled that he could come and play.
Well, Jeff, I think Dave and I have kind of an understanding of what you did on the show, but just for our listeners, how were you involved with the Charlie Puth show?
I was the co-executive producer / kind of writer. So my showrunner and I just, banged out these ridiculous ideas, these scripts, and just, a lot of it was improvised, a lot of it was written, and it's a lot of crazy. And you can see it right now on the Roku channel. 6 episodes of nonstop hilarity. Al's episode, Weirdo, the Charlie Puth story, is episode 3.
Oh, that's so cool. And whose idea was it to see if Weird Al would do the show?
Yeah, that was mine.
Oh, wow.
For sure. I mean, it was for the Roku channel. Al's like the biggest Roku star. How can I not? I was like, finally,
absolutely.
After 20 years of me pitching Weird Al storylines on every show I've ever been on, this one actually made sense.
Now, Jeff, I understand that a few of the episodes of the Charlie Puth show have a very special cameo. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I only appear on camera on Roku channel shows and movies. So you may be able to see me. Eagle-eyed viewers can see me in episodes 1 and 2. If you're looking hard enough, you can also see me in episode 6. Looking just as awkward as I did in Weird the Al Yankovic story.
I can't believe you signed an exclusive deal with the Roku channel to only appear in their stuff.
Yeah, I gotta start reading these deal memos more carefully.
Well, your appearance in Weird the Al Yankovic story certainly has opened up doors for your career.
And boy, am I thriving.
Of course, Jeff, you're working on the amazing Tight and Nerdy documentary. We're very excited to eventually see that. People can check out progress so far on tightandnerdymovie.com.
That's right. And you can still support us over at BearToBeStupid.com. You can support us via the Film Collaborative, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to providing services to indie filmmakers like myself. And the donations are tax deductible if you go through them. It's all very exciting. It's a win-win. So if you have to like funnel some money in a hurry, you can do it for our film. It's great. We're still finishing up the film. We have some graphic stuff to do. We are still clearing music. And those bills are going to come in real soon. So we're always looking to help us defray some costs. Jonathan, the other filmmaker, and I are sort of operating out of pocket at this point. The Kickstarter was successful, and we have kind of, gone over budget as it happens with these things sometimes. So we're trying to stop the hemorrhaging a little bit. so all help is always appreciated.
Well, Jeff, I feel inspired by this. I'm going to head over to BearToBeStupid.com and donate towards the film. Although you owe me $5, Jeff, so I'm just going to consider that paid.
Yeah, we'll just call it even. Thanks. Tell your accountant.
Ooh, that sound means we have a voicemail on the 347 Spatula Hotline, the official hotline of Dave and Ethan's 2008 Weird Al podcast. Let's take a listen.
Hey, Dave and Ethan, what is up? This is Claire. I'm just calling in because I think we've all seen the Hot to Go performance with Weird Al and Will Forte. What a great performance. How fun. And it got me to think, so Hot to Go has this choreographed dance at the chorus, which is really fun, really easy to learn, really intuitive. And I realized I was thinking through which songs in Al's catalog have that or would be a good candidate for that. Now, obviously, there's the established choreography to something like Fat or the Yoda chant, but those aren't necessarily things that the whole audience would be doing or learning. So if you could pick one Weird Al song to have a fun, catchy, easy, crowd participatory choreography for the chorus, what would it be? And could you do the choreography? See ya.
Claire, thank you so much for the great call. Now, my mind immediately jumps to The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota. And the reason I say that, even though it's a very long song, and even though it's not fun, catchy, or easy, I remember being at a show with the great Adriana Jugovic, and her and I coming up with our own choreography throughout the entire performance, and it was the funniest thing ever.
I feel like that's a lot of work to choreograph The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota, so I'm going to go with
We did it already, though.
Song.
We did it. We did all the hard work, Dave.
Well, you and Adriana can have The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota. I'm going to go with something a little bit shorter and probably easier to choreograph. My choice would be Fun Zone. I think that'd be a lot of fun to dance to. I always seem to dance in my seat whenever that kicks off a concert. And when he yells, hey, you could pump your fists in the air. I think that'd be a lot of fun. How about you, Jeff?
I would like to do a dance to this song's just 6 words long. Like I do in my house every day when I play it.
I'd love to see that one.
Now, would you dance to just 6 words, or would you dance to the entire song?
You'll see. Bonus features on the documentary DVD.
I love it. I love it.
I'm going to go right over to BearToBeStupid.com right now and make sure that bonus feature gets funded. Oh, that sound means we've got another call on the 347 Spatula Hotline. Let's give it a listen, Frank.
Hey, Dave and Ethan. It's Kenneth. Oh, man. I love Wednesdays. And this holiday week, Wednesday's on the 27th. It's Weird Wednesday. Then, Tofurkey Thursday to Foil Friday. You know, it's Foil Friday. When you unwrap your leftovers from Thanksgiving and turn the foil into hats. You get it. Well, anyway, wishing you all the best. Let's polka!
Yes!
Oh, that's incredible, Kenneth. Thank you so much for the call.
Kenneth is the best.
Let's polka indeed. I will definitely be polkaing on the 27th of any month. as well as any Foil Friday.
And good call, Kenneth, pointing out today is the 27th. So happy 27, guys.
Hooray!
This episode is brought to you in part by Discover Darwin, promoting tourism in Darwin, Minnesota. Not only is historic Darwin, Minnesota, beautiful, it's also got wooden nickels.
After the most recent episode where we talked all about my recent trip to Darwin, Minnesota, one of our amazing listeners shared an update with us.
Amazing!
That's right, Jonathan Leonard, who works in the nearby city of Dassel, Minnesota, made the long and arduous trip to Darwin, Minnesota in search of something.
Isn't Dassel like the next town over?
Yes, but that is not the point.
Also, isn't Dassel the mortal enemy of Darwin?
Yes, but also not the point.
Oh, okay, continue.
Jonathan went to Darwin, Minnesota and actually found one of the wooden nickels that Ethan left behind on his most recent trip to Darwin, Minnesota.
Holy cow, what does he win?
A wooden nickel.
Totally worth it.
And the self-satisfaction of doing something important.
Nice.
Jonathan shared a picture of his valuable treasure over on our official Facebook group, group.2000inch.com. And we encourage you to check it out and give it all the likes in the world.
And we also encourage you to visit Darwin, Minnesota and find the rest of our hidden nickels. Seriously, we hid like hundreds of them all over town. Go now, go find them.
So visit Darwin, Minnesota on your next wooden nickel finding expedition. Discover Darwin, more than just the twine ball. And after you visit Darwin, Minnesota, be sure to attempt to visit www.discoverdarwin.biz.
Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast is brought to you absolutely free thanks to our incredible sponsors, Burrito, Wizard Burger, our very own Jackson Scoggins, Discover Darwin, and our very own Kenneth Crazy Ken Gwinnett.
Our podcast is also supported by everyone else in our Patreon family, with special thanks to our very own close personal friend level Patreon supporters, Blair, Matt T, Ajax, Javier, Weird's Dream Date Nancy, Scotto Brothers, Allison, Casey Killingsworth, Kev Messick, Zach Casper, Zeb, Yanko Chick 38, Devlin, Dana B and Beaker, Ron, Adriana Banana Yukovic, and of course, UHJeff Nucera.
Oh, hi.
Also thanks to Richard Berger, Spencer Parks, Vicky DeVries, Rhymes with Cheese, William Joseph King, Brad Hebert, and everyone else in our pretty stinking majestic Patreon family.
If you enjoy our burlesque-themed Weird Al podcast, as heard in the Weird the Al Yankovic Story commentary track, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/2000inch. There are awesome benefits like getting your name read on the podcast, your own private RSS feed, which gives you early access to each and every bonus episode, plus the self-satisfaction of doing something important with your otherwise, let's face it, pitiful, meaningless existence. And don't forget to check out our official merchandise over at shop.2000inch.com. You could get your very own Gil and Chillo as seen in The Charlie Puth Show. All proceeds from purchases go directly towards supporting our fine podcast.
We love hearing from our listeners and other Weird Al fans, so be sure to join our Facebook community over at group.2000inch.com and visit our exciting Discord server for even more riveting Weird Al and Red Rump the Goody related conversations. You can find both of them linked on our website, as well as information about past episodes and guests over at 2000inch.com or weirdalpodcast.com.
Keep up on new episodes, podcast news, and events by following at 2000inch on Facebook, Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And be sure to subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. Not only does subscribing help the podcast, but next time you dance to a Weird Al song, you'll be wearing nothing but a G-string.
Hey, isn't that your choreography for this song's just 6 words long?
No DVD spoilers.
Plus, we also absolutely love it when we receive voicemail via our official patent-pending 27-hour-a-day podcast hotline, 347 Spatula, as seen in the Illustrated Al. That number is 347-772-8852. Give it a call or a text, and you might even hear your message in a future episode.
Thank you once again to UHJeff Nucera for joining us for this entire episode.
You're welcome.
Thank you also to Pickles Kintaro for joining us and telling us all about Tight and Nerdy. Also, thank you to Jeff's cat Chloe for meowing the whole episode.
She's driving off now.
We'd also like to thank Dan Pasternak, Kenneth Crazy Ken Gwinnett, Jared Marker, Twine Poodle, Ajax, Samantha Evans, Spencer Parks, Zach Binder, Jonathan Leonard, Nina Yankovic, Amanda Cohen, Susan McNabb, Joey, and our very own Claire Walsh.
Thank you to the Grammy Award-winning Jim Chemo West for our incredible podcast theme song. And thank you to Weird Al Yankovic, as this podcast would probably not exist without him. Thank you also to John Bermuda Schwartz, Steve J, Ruben Valtierra, Jay Levy, and the irreplaceable Joe Jaffa. And a big thank you to all of you, our loyal listeners, subscribers, Patreon supporters, and sponsors, and everyone out there who makes our podcast possible.
Thank you for choosing Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast. And until next time, remember to gill and chill, keep listening to Weird Al, and stay cheesy.
Hey, are you guys going to do the Thanksgiving joke this year?
Oh, you mean the one where we wish our American listeners a happy Thanksgiving and our international listeners a happy Thursday?
Yes, that's the one. It gets me every time.
I don't know, Jeff. It's kind of played out.
Yeah, I think we're going to skip it this year. Gotta pass.
But it's a Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast tradition. You have to do it.
Really?
Yeah, people love it. We're expecting it.
Really?
It's literally the only reason I support you over on patreon.com/2000inch.
Oh, wow. We had no idea.
I mean, how could we not do it now?
Okay, here we go. From all of us here at Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, we wish our wonderful American listeners a very happy Thanksgiving.
And from all of us here at Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, we wish our wonderful international listeners a very happy Thursday.
You know what? I had changed my mind. You should totally skip it this year. That was Dave and Ethan's 2000-inch Weird Al podcast, episode 249-inch.
We're tight and nerdy.
Chloe.
If I took, Ethan and Jeff aside and I said, hey, we're big Weird Al fans, we got to do something exciting. Let's just strip the Weird Al music. They would look at me funny.